Hi parents, my name is Miss Brittany and I teach in Garfield EC. Today I wanted to show you some simple things that you can do at home with your child who is learning or practicing numbers 0 through 10. So this video is aimed at younger children because we've received a lot of feedback that especially the 3-year-olds are having a difficult time navigating math games on the computer, which makes perfect sense. We've even had some parents say, you know, my kid knows the answer, but they've never used a computer before and just navigating the mouse is difficult for them. Dr. Montessori said that the hands are the instruments to man's intelligence. What the hand touches, the mind remembers. And so learning things just on a computer screen or even just on paper is not going to cut it for the young child. They're in a sensitive period for multi-sensory exploration as well as order. So if you've ever noticed that your 3-year-old is obsessed with like lining up their toy cars exactly in this certain order, it's a very normal instinct. Children's brains from 3 to 6 are in this, what Dr. Montessori referred to as the absorbent mind. They're like little sponges and they are hungry for knowledge and they're hungry for ways to make sense of their world, to organize and order and categorize. And so the 3-year-old children that come into our classroom at the beginning of the year, we actually don't start them right in numbers. And a lot of times people think, oh, I need to start teaching my kids numbers. That's the first thing of math, right? Well, it's actually not. There is a whole world of sensory exploration that comes before we ever introduce written numerals for children to learn or memorize. As a 3-year-old child, I can manipulate these 2 straws with my hands, and I can very easily come to the conclusion that this straw is bigger than this straw. I can't hold these 2 numbers in my hands. They're the exact same size. They are different squiggly abstract symbols to a 3-year-old child who's never been introduced, right? So the only reason that this is bigger than this is because as a society, we have agreed that this symbol is associated with a quantity that is bigger than the quantity associated with this symbol. Did I blow your mind yet? So there's a whole section in our classroom that's sensorial materials, and this is in preparation for math materials. So a lot of 3-year-olds are working on things like the pink tower and the red rods and the brown stairs. Children line things up from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest. So at home, you could be doing things with your child like find all of the spoons in your kitchen and order them from biggest to smallest. Shoes is another fun one. If you have a lot of people in your family with different sizes of feet, just go outside and find a bunch of sticks and line them up from biggest to smallest. Categorizing like objects together is also a pre-numeracy math skill. And so a lot of the sensorial materials in our classroom are reinforcing this skill of just making categories in your brain. An example of this at home would literally just be sharing some trail mix with your child and having them pull out all of the nuts, you know, all of the peanuts in one pile, all of the almonds in another pile, all of the M&Ms. You could then even go further and break down the M&Ms by color, sorting out the blues from the greens. You've probably seen small children before just touching a million things and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, 13. And that's great. They're learning, they're practicing, and we all have to know how to rote count. But rote counting is not the same thing as recognizing numeral symbols. And it's also not the same thing as understanding one-to-one correspondence. So helping your child slow down and physically touch each object like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes practice, and this is a skill that a lot of children need help reinforcing.
Hey everyone, it is Mr. Sam over at Garfield. We are going to be doing an adaptation at home for the spindle rod math lesson for your students. So we just started here by using sidewalk chalk, setting up our table with numbers 0 through 9. And then parents, this is important, you will need 45 sticks to complete the table. This is something fun that your student can do. You can help them, of course, but sticks, pencils, crayons, whatever you have kind of just laying around the house. If you want to do it inside, with the weather being so nice, it's always nice to get outside. So we are just gonna kind of show you how to walk through this with your student. And if your student is there with you, I'm sure they can help you as well. So we're just gonna start. Always start at the left, and we have our 0. The quantity for 0 is nothing, so your student doesn't put anything in that first column. Next is 1. That gets 1 stick. And number 2, you want to count out 1, 2 sticks. 3, 1, 2, and 3. And 9. And then it is important just to make sure that your student is associating the number, the written numeral, with the quantity. So you have the written number and then what that number looks like. And then this is kind of a fun game. You can say, where are 6 sticks? You find the number 6, what it looks like, and then they can actually hold 6, and they will know that this is the quantity that goes along with that written numeral. All right, guys, thanks. We'll see you soon.
Hi parents, it's Miss Jess from EC1. So here's a work that we have in our classroom, and this is something that you could make really easy at home. You could just get a strip of paper and write all the numbers down, 0 to 10, or you can go higher if you'd like. And then you just get clothespins. And what we did was we put the dots on. And so the child can count how many. So 1, and then they can put it with the symbol. That's putting, the concrete and the abstract together. That's that association, and it really is helpful for the children. And as they progress, you could put the symbol on the back, and then they could just match. This is really cool as well, because then they can see 0. That's none. That means none. So this is something that they could do at home, and they would really enjoy it. And it's easy, like I said.
In Montessori, we really want to teach the why of math. We want our students to have a strong foundation. All of the abstract mathematical concepts that are going to come are at the top of the building. We're not there yet. We're at the very foundation. So we just want that to be as strong as possible. If the education.com lessons aren't working for you, that's completely fine. And you can take a step back from them and just do some things at home. Our goal is to focus on the developmental journey of the mathematical mind.